Well, I'm Dermot McGann. I've come from Belfast City Council on their Piece 4 Sure Space and Services project, and part of that project was a major part of the project was the development of the Forth Meadow Greenway. This, we've been told, is unique in the sense that it's the only greenway within an urban area. Other greenways start in the city, go out to a rural or countryside. This is completely within the urban area, starting in North Belfast and finishing in the city centre. So what is it? So the background of the project is Belfast is still suffering from legacy of conflict, with a significant progress is made over the past decade. Overcome segregation within the city, there still remains evidence that there are some economic and social impacts for the city, particularly evident in neighbourhoods such as communities in North and West Belfast. This part of the city was segregated both visibly and invisible lines into a myriad of disconnected pockets. This resulted in a series of connectivity impacts causing poor access to jobs, physical barriers through interfaces, psychological barriers which causes fear for people travelling to other areas, and there's still that territorial ownership between this my area and that your area. So it's something that we thought was important, that through this greenway, getting people to move about, we could try and address some of these issues. The overview. It's what is a Forth Meadow Greenway. It's a 12k network of paths and cycleways across 5 sections, connecting parks, green spaces along the route. The intention is to create interaction between all communities along the greenway, regardless of cultural, political backgrounds. The aim encouraging people to make use of the open spaces that are around them, and in a shared way. The support greenway was £5.1 million. Capital, £3.2 to approximately was spent on a capital build. £1 million half million that come from council, the £500,000 from DSC for the development of Springfield Dam. The programming element, which I'm involved in, was approximately about £1 million, and the rest of it was the rest of the money being used to cover overhead costs, staffs, equipment, etc. We did need additional money from DFC and DFI because we noticed a bit of an underspend or overspend onto it. So what's our aim? So the aim was to reconnect communities, creating an iconic network of local shared spaces, enabling reconciliation and interaction of divided communities, contributing to local neighbourhood regeneration, and that's particularly in areas in communities in North and West Belfast. Also, it was on reconciliation. Although there is already a lot of reconciliation work going on, and we just thought that would help to build on that and encourage movement between these isolated communities as such. Interaction between people along the green spaces that exist, and help people safely travel between them all, and regeneration. The aim is to help bring regeneration back into what is often seen as a depraved areas. Shared space principles, right? We take approach of seeing everything as welcoming, accessible, good quality, and safe. Welcome in the sense of where people feel secure to come to what would be maybe possibly an unfamiliar environment. Accessible, everybody, all sites are accessible, whether this is from access points along the route or on bus routes, etc. And everybody can get to all the sites. Good quality. When people visit the site, it's clean. It has bins, etc. It's so, and again, people don't feel as if they're going somewhere I don't want to go to, and it's safe. I mean, it's very important in this area, in this part of Belfast, that had experienced a lot of interface, sectarian violence, etc. over the years. So it is important. It's important that people feel safe to travel these areas. To give a bit of a flavour, let's just watch this video on.
Forth Meadow Community Greenway is a new £5.1 million EU Peace Force funded project to connect existing open spaces in North and West Belfast along a 12-kilometre route from Clarendon playing fields to the new transport hub in the city centre. The capital works will create paths and cycleways along the route with additional planting, new pathway surfaces, new street furniture, signage, wayfinding and public art. In parallel with the capital project, we are developing an exciting community activity and events programme at key sections along the Greenway to help bring communities together and promote use of the shared space.
We're trying to reconnect the city. We're trying to create safe spaces for people to meet and to walk together, to spend time together. This is a whole patchwork of public spaces that are being regenerated and redeveloped to encourage people to rediscover Belfast.
There are 5 distinct sections. Section 1, Glencairn to Ballygomartin. Glencairn Park will see improvements including a new entrance at Forth River Road and a new 3-metre wide path linking Glencairn Park to Glencairn Road. There will also be improvements to Forth River Linear Park's existing path, replacement of fencing at Clarendon playing fields, and the refurbishment of the footbridge at Forth River Way. Section 2, shared space between Forth River and Springfield Road. A new shared space, including walking and cycling paths, will be created on the former industrial land between the Lower Forth River and Springfield Road. New paths will also connect the space to Paisley Park and Woodvale Park. Section 3, Springfield Road and Falls Park. This section includes the £1.2 million redevelopment at Springfield Dam, which received additional funding from the Department for Communities. The route connects Springfield Road with the White Rock Community Corridor and Falls Park. As well as pathways, wayfinding signage and street furniture, work will enhance existing junctions to improve crossings for pedestrians and cyclists. Section 4, Bog Meadows. Bog Meadows Nature Reserve is owned and maintained by the Ulster Wildlife Trust. Pathways within and connecting to the nature reserve will be widened, with additional planting and lighting added. The route will connect to Broadway, where a new, welcoming entrance will be added. Section 5, West Link to City Centre. This section, starting at Broadway Roundabout and ending at the new transport hub, will see new wayfinding signage installed and improvements to the existing path.
In Belfast City Council, we talk about reimagining Belfast as somewhere that is beautiful, that has been regenerated, that is welcoming, and where people can live a healthy life and be connected to nature and then make those connections with one another. This is creating space where people can meet together and can enjoy really what is a beautiful part of the city.
Okay, overall project so far has been well received by both sides of the community and other elements of it, but it has had its challenges. COVID-19, when it hit and lockdown, was a big challenge because when you have a project that's essentially about getting people out and about, moving between communities, and the restrictions just stopped us doing it, which had a big effect on us trying to get projects up and running. But the flip side of it was that we provided an open space where people could go out and walk. So it had its swings and roundabouts. Community engagement. Early on, people were a bit negative about it because it's easy seeing something written on a bit of paper. They said you show plans, you have engagement workshops, you have drop-in sessions with people, and everything's very good seeing it on paper, seeing well what could be. And so people were a bit in the negative because they also thought that you're bringing people down in our area and they're going to cause trouble, or in the sense is that by sharing something you give them something up. But that was early days. But as things have started progressing, people are starting to ask more questions. People are seeing things as a parks and all are developed, or the Greenway's developed. People are starting to see the positive side of it, and there's more equity buy-in. We did have a legal challenge early on, was one of the key sections, section 2, but it's been resolved now, and because it's a key section in the sense that it connects Glencairn with Springfield Road, and it's key in getting people to move between the two main communities. Also, this section, being told, is an area of unique mosaic habitat from an environmental point of view. So, and it's key that we can develop that where people can go and enjoy this little oasis in the middle of Belfast. Land ownership access, not all the land along the Greenway belongs to the council, belongs to the Town Executive, DFC, etc. So it's all aspects of getting transferred ownership, etc. And also, it was mentioned in the video about off the Wildlife Trust. That's still there. The Bob Meadows is still off the wildlife. We don't want to go in and cause any. So it's negotiating with them to see access to it and get people to be able to walk around, etc. And it's kind of working together. And also the cost materials. Since lockdown, Brexit, etc., the cost of it, I didn't think I'd ever know the price of steel. The cost has been through the roof for some, and it's also had effect on some things being cut back on. For example, we were supposed to have like X amount of some information panels along the way. Those may cut down to just what we need, but we're getting there, and as keep being told, it's only stage 1. And hopefully we can build on that. Right, so impacts to date. Springfield Dam Park opened in December 2020, right in the middle of lockdown, which, as I said earlier on, it kind of came, and it was the same time we were restricted by the restrictions, COVID, etc. But at the same time, we opened up a new park at a time when people needed to go out and enjoy the environment. It's used regularly. I mean, by both sides of the community, and it's actually surprises all the issues and the way the community has taken it, and as I say, it's an oasis in the middle of Belfast. I didn't even know it existed until we actually developed it. And I drove up and down the road all the time, surprisingly. And we actually developed a Forth Meadow. We've had people moving between communities, coming from, say, Highfield down to use a dam, or from Basement to use a dam, and vice versa, moving up into the other greenfield sites. We've also developed a volunteer program with 52 volunteers trained to lead people on led walks, cycles, and nature guides, because through some of the early engagement, we found that there's a big interest in the community for what's around and the flora and fauna that exists. And so we have a team of 13 trained nature guides that take people out on led walks. Those volunteers are also working along with the walk leads. So it's a bit of a joint venture. So people mightn't just want to go for, they might want to include a nature walk along with their walk, and the cycle leads are, that's early days yet, because we're still waiting on the path to be fully developed. But when it's developed, we'll be able to, people will be able to go on led cycles from Clarendon straight through the city centre and across and beyond. We've had attendance at events. To date, we have had 3 large events in Bob Meadows, Springfield Dam, and Woodville Park. Bob Meadows would have had the first Swamp Festival, which included environmental issues around the bog itself, with people doing bug hunts, bird ringing, etc. And that this was incorporated into, along with a festival kind of atmosphere. We had 2,000 plus people in attendance that day. We had 1,500 people at Springfield Dam at an event. We had another 2,000 people at Woodville Park. From both sides of the community attending the event. We have increased awareness of people as work completes, and some sections are actually coming to completion. More people are becoming aware of it and how it can be used, and want to be involved in things and asking us questions. What can we do on it? Can we have this? Can we have that on it? And it's helping us to identify what they want, but the problem now is trying to find the money to support it, which is anything else. It's all very well, I want it, but can we do it? And And also people are becoming aware of what's on the other side of the fence. It's not just it's a case of not looking over the fence. They're actually crossing it, going over it, and make people on the other side. And we've had a lot of positive promotion. As mentioned earlier, this part of the city has had a negative history of violence, terrorism, segregation, etc. And so with the development of the Greenway and this part of this project, there is now positive image being promoted. The people are now come and enjoy the events, the parks, green spaces, and this can only build on it. And to date, as I said earlier on, when we opened the open Springfield Dam Park in December 2020, and we had no incidents of any violence in it. Outside of normal AHP, we've had nothing negative, it's all been positive. So what kind of projects have we supported on it? Well, I mean, we've supported the youth education project, looking at getting young people to look at issues that are affecting them, not just what we older people think they want. We did develop projects around terrorism, racism, so it was also about isolation, career development, etc. So we, as I said, we tried to develop projects built on what young people wanted, not what we thought they wanted. We also developed early on a women's fitness project, getting women from the Lower Shankill Clonard area out and about, walking through the parks, walking through the sites, getting and mixing each other, sharing experiences, problems, etc. And this actually developed to where they actually went on a walk to the Stairway to Heaven down in Fermanagh on one very cold February morning. And then that was the pinnacle of their walk, so they were very excited about that. To build on what we were hoping the community wanted, we developed a dialogue engagement project where we went out and asked people. Again, this was done during COVID, so we had to take a different approach. Up to that point, there had been workshops, people coming to workshops similar to today. We had to take an approach of everything was done virtually, webinar events, virtual meetings, which at a time when people were more focused on issues around COVID, it was difficult to get the information. So we tried to develop the projects based on what they want, which helped us develop things like, a lot of feedback came back. People wanted to do things outside. Well, rather that was to do with COVID, but we had a lot of feedback when people wanted to do things outside. As I said earlier on, we supported it, a volunteer training project with 52 volunteers trained at the minute. We also developed a narrative project where we wanted people to tell us stories about their local areas, local environments. And these stories would then be, some of them would be featured on information panels along the route. As I said earlier, we hope to have 17 along the route, but we've probably stories for about 30. But and these stories range from things like the Grand National winner was Tipperary Tim was kept in the stables in Farrenhill House. Kids who used to swim in Springfield Dam, and come back with their clothes ruined because the dye factory, was all the dye was coming down out of the factories, and people came back with multicolored clothes. Other things, we try to go away from that bombs and bullets approach. Want to hear stories of people actually, like, so-and-so's mother worked in here, so-and-so's father worked there. And get more positive. And also we found out that the Red Rock Orange Hall used to be where you got your sheep and all weighed. It's part of the front of the market. All these things there were stories local people had. Instead of, you can't put a smile on people's faces. We also developed, have supported a school diversity project, where we got children from the local primary schools to come down on the Springfield Dam and hunt for bugs and learn about the environment, what's there, what's on the doorstep, and building on this need to, or this desire to see what's there, what's around us. Other projects was the one at the minute is this is a doozy. This one, this is the one that we are looking at trying to develop a governance model. And if anybody knows the area, I mean, getting people to work together in the north and west Belfast and across interfaces, it's a challenge. We were trying to replicate the model in East, but East Belfast single identity. West Belfast got wee pockets of different backgrounds from people well established. Certain, so it's getting it, but we actually went beyond the stakeholders. We're actually talking to local people. What do local people want? Do local people want to be involved in a governance model? How do they want it? I mean, do they want to be involved as a panel member, or do they want to just contribute? And this also helped us develop projects down the line. I mean, although we supported the projects just mentioned, there's other ones. So there's other ideas coming on a daily basis. Can you do this? Can you do that? Based on what's happened, based on people seeing the actual Greenway evolving around them. We also wanted to look at cross-community men's shed. We did have one established early on during COVID. We couldn't do it inside, so we got these big tents, put them outside in the park, and men and women came down, and we actually went down right down to basics and got them to make Irish hedge chairs where they carved it from the wood themselves with hand tools, and people loved it. It's something we want to build on, but again, it's getting the money to support it. We also have, as mentioned, lots of shared space activities in the park and in the areas. A lot of things coming back is like foraging projects, messy play. We'll have young people looking at getting young people around, campfire ideas, getting instead in the image where they all can sit around, maybe a fire pit or something, and talk about young person's issues, and within like a natural environment or whatever. Whereas I think, and again, something that they want. We've also got a large installation of art pieces. There'll be a single large art piece installed there on the Springfield junction with Springfield Road and the Innovation Factory. To knowledge that it'll be 7 meters tall, and it's sort of a big flagship piece. There will be also 5 other art pieces developed and installed in each of the 5 sections. The theme of these art pieces is actually nature and the environment. So it'll have this kind of environmental image, and the theme was down to earth, but because people in Belfast are always referred to as down to earth. So that's the theme of the art pieces, and hopefully the first piece will be installed early new year, depending on planning. Right, and to finish off, I just want to show you a little video that was developed a poem developed by one of our participants in the project.
I leave my own place, my traditional space, excited about what lies ahead. And what lies ahead is the city. I howl goodbye and set off at pace in search of common ground. The blood races through my veins as I myself race by hedge and ice tree from the foothills in the north, stopping to lap at Forth River as I am driven onward to find my place on common ground. Paws beat against path of stone and muck, river behind me, woodland ahead, as I descend to Springfield, lapping once more at dammed water. I pause on my way to common ground. Slowly now, sure steps, as parkland meets road, thoroughfare from here to there, and at its edge stands my resting place, for all to see, for all eternity. I will stand a hound on common ground. And in my standing, still and proud, I will witness to the other places, high from whence I came, Glencairn, Clarendon, Woodvale, and the places from here I see, Bogmeadows, Broadway, Grosvenor, here, there, all common ground.